Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Zoro, the pirate hunter descended from the Shimotsuki, might also be a descendant of Ethan Baron Vafiev. Nusjuro, one of the 5 elders and a master of the blade, made immortal thanks to Imu. Let's see how this could work based on the manga. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, we already know that Zoro is a descendant of the Shimotsuki, a legendary clan of blacksmiths and samurai that migrated from Wano to the East Blue generations ago. But what if this lineage goes even deeper and directly connects to Ethan Baron V Nusjuro, the bald Gorosei, who wields a sword like no one else and appears to have lived since the Void Century thanks to Imu's power, which grants immortality to elite loyalists. Let's speculate using only what the manga has shown so far, up to the current Elbaf chapters, connecting dots without inventing anything new. Everything started to make sense during the Wano arc, when Oda revealed that Zoro was born in Shimotsuki village, founded by Shimotsuki Kozaburo, the master blacksmith who fled Wano, carrying the secrets of sword forging, and created legendary blades like the Wado Ichimonji and Enma. Kozaburo was Quena's grandfather, and Zoro inherited not only her sword, but also an absurd affinity with blades that are difficult to tame. Enma, for example, drains haki from those who are unworthy, yet Zoro mastered it quickly, and in chapter 1035, he experienced visions of lineage that looked like ancient silhouettes of supreme warriors. Now, in the recent post-Egghead chapters, Nusjuro appears cutting everything with demonic precision, transformed into a hybrid Bakotsu form that resembles mythological legends, wielding a sword that many fans associate with the Kitetsu line because of its dark, cursed aura. The Shimotsuki specialize exactly in forging Kitetsu blades, and Zoro took up the Sandai Kitetsu without suffering the effects of the curse that killed other owners, as if his blood naturally resisted that dark force. Think about the demonic vibe Zoro has always carried. Asura emerging in critical moments, like against Kaku in Anies Lobby, or against King in Onigashima, creating illusions of multiple arms and heads with an infernal aura. Nusjuro, in panels starting from chapter 1110, displays an equally ominous presence, slashes that freeze the air, and advanced haki that paralyzes enemies from a distance, very similar to what Zoro did against Monet and Punk Hazard. In addition, the Gorosei regenerate from fatal injuries, as Saturn took massive explosions and returned unharmed, suggesting that Imu truly grants some form of immortality or extreme regeneration to the 5 elders. If Nusjuro is a Shimotsuki who lived during the Void Century, he could have betrayed the clan or the Great Kingdom in exchange for eternal power, which would explain why part of the family fled to Wano and later to the East Blue, hiding their true origins. The visual parallel is striking. Both have the posture of absolute swordsmen and fierce eyes, and Nusjuro's transformation features traits reminiscent of Japanese demons, just like the King of Hell that Zoro awakened in chapter 1036. Ryuma, another Shimotsuki known as the God of the Sword, fought dragons in legend, and Nusjuro has a mythical form that evokes ancient creatures. Oda loves these echoes. Zoro feels Ryuma's spirit through Enma, as if the sword carries ancestral memories. Imagine if that connection goes even further, and Nusjuro is a corrupted branch of the same family tree, someone who chose absolute power in Mary's UIC, while the rest of the clan preserved honor in secret. That would add enormous weight to Zoro's natural hatred of the world government, seen since Thriller Bark against Kuma or in Sabaody against the Celestial Dragons. In the current manga, with the Gorosei mobilized and Nusjuro cutting down transmission devices and ships with absurd ease, it is clear that he stands at a level of swordsmanship that rivals or even surpasses Mihawk in certain aspects. Zoro has always dreamed of being the strongest, and facing an immortal ancestor would be the ultimate test, forcing evolution beyond what we saw against King or Lucci. The Haoshoku Haki that Zoro awakened in chapter 1010 is rare, a mark of kings, and Nusjuro demonstrates haki control that freezes slashes in midair, something only absolute masters can do. Zoro survived attacks that would kill anyone else, such as the combined strike from Kaido and Big Mom, or the insane strain of Enma, perhaps carrying a resistance inherited through his bloodline, even if diluted over centuries. Culturally, the name Shimotsuki evokes a cold November, a month of frost, which perfectly matches Nusjuro's cold, cutting precision, whose attacks seem to freeze everything around them. Historically, samurai families in Japan often split into branches loyal to the shogun or in rebellion, and Oda draws heavily from this inspiration. Nusjuro, as an ethereal baron with a celestial title, represents the side that rose to world power by betraying ancient ideals, while Zoro embodies rebellious purity, rejecting shortcuts and seeking honest strength. A clash between them would be philosophical. Three swords representing chaotic harmony versus a single blade of absolute destruction, natural haki versus power amplified by Imu, with Elbaf now unfolding, featuring giants who know ancient legends and possibly the Void Century. Some relic or conversation might emerge linking the Shimotsuki to the Great Kingdom. If Nusjuro was a warrior from that era who switched sides out of survival or ambition, like the betrayals hinted at in Clover's speeches in Ohara, that would explain the family's diaspora and the secret Kozaburo kept. Zoro hesitating upon sensing a familiar aura would be a rare moment of vulnerability for our stoic swordsman, similar to Sanji dealing with the weight of the Vien Smoke name. The crew's reactions would be epic. Sanji teasing that the Moromo has noble blood, Usopp terrified of an immortal enemy, and Luffy just laughing and telling Zoro to cut him anyway. The narrative payoff would be massive. Zoro cutting not just flesh, but the chains of immortality, breaking a cycle of family betrayal and helping Luffy free the world from Imu's shadow. Enma and the Wado Ichimonji could react to Nusjuro's presence. Recognizing ancient blood or the Shodai Katetsu in his hand could resonate with Zoro's lesser Katetsu blades. All of this fits perfectly with Oda's style of planting seeds decades in advance and harvesting them in emotional twists during the final saga. This theory elevates Zoro's arc from a lone hunter to a key piece of global history, connecting the weak East Blue to the center of power in Mary Joas, proving once again that in One Piece, nothing is a coincidence. What makes all of this even more exciting is how it reinforces core themes: freedom versus eternal control, strength earned through sweat versus stolen power, and a legacy that can be redeemed or destroyed. Zoro rejecting immortality in order to live every battle intensely, while Nusjuro has stagnated for centuries at the top without any real challenge. The duel would be insane double-page spreads, full Asura versus the mythical Bakotsu form, skies splitting apart from the clash of Conqueror's haki. I can't wait to see whether Oda goes in this direction or surprises us with something even crazier. But all the parallels are right there in the panels, names, abilities, and lore. So, do you buy this idea of Nusjuro as a distant, corrupted ancestor of Zoro? Let me know what you think, because this theory makes the future of the manga even more epic. Now let's dive deeper into how this theory could unfold in the upcoming arcs without repeating what we already discussed. With the manga currently in Elbaf, the Gorosei are more active than ever, invading islands and hunting the Straw Hats directly. Nusjuro, with his insane speed and slashes that cut through entire ships, stands out as the most lethal in one-on-one combat. Zoro, who has just mastered advanced, fully infused haki against Lucci, is at the perfect point for a confrontation that truly tests his limits. Imagine the moment they face each other for the first time. Zoro feels a strange resonance from Enma, as if the sword recognizes the wielder of the opposing blade. That wouldn't be a coincidence. The Katetsu swords are forged by the Shimotsuki, and the Shodai, the most powerful and dangerous one, could very well have been in Nusjuro's hands for 800 years. What would make this clash unique is the contrast in philosophies. Zoro fights for a personal dream earned through sweat, scars, and unwavering loyalty to his captain. Nusjuro, trapped in an eternal existence, has served an empty throne for centuries, without a true challenge since the Void Century. His technique is perfect but stagnant. Zoro's evolves with every life or death battle. It would be the meeting of living strength and fossilized strength. Zoro could force Nusjuro to remember what it feels like to fear loss, something the Gorosei has not experienced since the Ancient War. A full King of Hell strike with all three swords wrapped in concentrated Haoshoku might be the only thing capable of breaking the regeneration granted by Imu, because it cuts not just flesh, but intent, just like Zoro cut Kinemon's fire or Mr. One's steel. Another strong point of this theory is how it closes long-running narrative cycles in One Piece. From the very beginning, Zoro has carried the weight of promises to Kuina, to Mihawk, and to Luffy. Discovering that the greatest living swordsman might be a traitorous ancestor would give his journey an even greater purpose: to purify the Shimotsuki name, transforming a bloodline stained by betrayal into a symbol of freedom. It would be a perfect parallel to what Luffy does with the Will of D, Sanji with Germa, and even Nami with Arlong. Oda loves family redemption, and Zoro redeeming a lost branch by cutting down its immortality would be incredibly poetic. It would also explain why Ryuma is revered as a god in Wano. The clan produced sword monsters at both extremes, the legendary hero and the dark guardian of the world government. In the broader context of the final war, Zoro fighting Nusjuro would free Luffy to focus on Imu or Saturn, balancing the top-tier battles. The giants of Elbaf Guardians of Ancient Stories could reveal through a mural or a conversation with Loki that a Shimotsuki once fought alongside Joy Boy and later switched sides, carrying the guilt that forced the rest of the family into hiding. That would add emotional weight to Zoro, who has always been the most reserved member of the crew. Seeing him process that inheritance, maybe in a quiet moment drinking sake with Brook or Usopp, would be rare and powerful character development. In the end, this connection would elevate Zoro from just a strong swordsman to a key piece in the fall of the world government. He would not only fulfill his dream of becoming the strongest, but also break a chain of betrayal that has lasted 800 years, helping bring about the dawn promised by Roger and Joy Boy. All of this without inventing anything new, just connecting what Oda has already laid out. Names, swords, regeneration, visual parallels, and the author's love for complicated family legacies. If it happens, it will be one of the most epic moments of the final saga. What do you think? Does Nusjuro fall by Zoro's hand, or is Oda saving an even bigger surprise? Drop your thoughts, because this theory makes the heart race with every new chapter. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.